Hey everyone, welcome to Storytime with Spidey. It's me, your host as always, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Hey there, Lee. So nice of you to join me. Ah, and before I get started, Lee, you just reminded me, your little brother has a birthday today. Your little brother Ryan, he's now 24, so everyone help me wish Ryan a happy birthday. That's a pretty big uh, deal right there. I wish I could spend it with him, but I'm here doing this and he's where he is doing what he does. So, today I want to talk to you about some of my friends in the superhero community. Now, you probably know that I have from time to time worked with this great bunch of guys and girls, the Avengers. Now, we have heroes from all around the world, and even some who are not from this world. Like, I don't know if you all know this, but Thor is not human. He may look it. He's got normal looking hair and eyes and things of that sort, but he is not one of us. He comes from a planet called Asgard. Here he is. He's from a planet called Asgard. He is not human. He is very different from the rest of us. And that's the thing I wanted to touch on today is you're going to meet people who are different from you, and you need to know that that's okay. One of the people that comes to mind is this guy. You know him, the Black Panther, T'Challa. He is not from America at all. He's from Africa. He rules a country in Africa. And when the Avengers met him, they didn't think about him being from another country, and they didn't think about him being black. They just saw someone that they could work with, and that's what they went with. And of course, we also have this guy, the Falcon. He works with Captain America. His name is Sam Wilson, and from the first time they met, they just clicked. They were automatically buddies. And Sam didn't care that Captain America was white, and Captain America didn't care that Sam was black. They just realized that they were friends and needed to work together. They were more concerned about fighting evil, really, than anything else. And I guess that's what I wanted to talk about. If a person does a bad thing, then they need to answer for it. Now, if that means that they need to be punished for what they did, or if they need to do something to make it right, that's just the way it is. There are good people in this world and there are bad people in this world. And it's important to know which. But what we must never do is look at someone and decide, based on how they look, whether they are good or bad. That's just not a healthy way to think. That's not a healthy way to be. And give me a second here. I'm working alone today. I usually have an assistant who helps me manage things, but today I'm on my own. Here in the Marvel Encyclopedia, if you were to ever get your hands on it, you would go through and see that you have all different kinds of heroes with all different kinds of looks. Like this guy, the Beast. He's with the X-Men. He also works with the Avengers sometimes. And you see he's blue and furry, but he's still one of us. There's nothing wrong with him. He's still a good guy. But I think the best example that I can give you is this fellow right here, the Hulk. Now, we all kind of know the situation with him. Dr. Bruce Banner got exposed to gamma radiation, and when he gets angry, he turns into a big green raging monster. But the thing of it is, he's not really a monster. Not in his heart. He's actually just a really strong man. But when he first appeared on the scene, the army saw him, and he wasn't green then, he was actually gray. He turned green later. When they first saw him, they saw this big gray guy with these big bulging muscles and his shirt all ripped up and his pants all ripped up, and they saw him as a threat just because of how he looked, and they attacked him. And that made the Hulk angry because he was just minding his own business. And he, in turn, fought back to defend himself. But because he was so strong, defending himself caused a lot of damage and destruction. And what they came away with was him being distrustful of soldiers, meaning he just felt like they were all going to be his enemies, and the army not trusting him. And it just kind of stayed that way. It was a very destructive situation, and it just got uglier and uglier. Really, joining the Avengers was the only thing that kind of helped turn things around, because people saw that the Hulk was actually good. His strength could be used for good. He didn't have to be hated just because he was different. Oh, I see that Ryan is watching. Happy birthday, kid. So nice of you to be 24 now. Fun fact, there's a guy that plays me in the movies. His name is Tom Holland. He's the most recent guy that played me in, well, it started with the Civil War movie. Then it moved on to Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, and Far From Home. Tom Holland is also 24 today. Isn't that funny? That's a cute fun fact. Anyways, as I was saying, we have to learn to accept that some people are different from us, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you have to hate them. You know, people come from different places, they look different, they talk different. You know, if a person comes from a country where they speak a different language, and then they come here to America, English might be a little hard for them. And even when they learn it, they'll still probably have some traces of their own language, which is what we call an accent. Traces of the way that they're accustomed to talking, working its way into how they speak English. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. Truth be told, people from other backgrounds, other cultures, are a gift to the world. They're a blessing. From them, we can experience different kinds of food, different kinds of fashion, different kinds of art, different kinds of music, and it's all a really great thing if we let it be a great thing. We have to treat each other fairly. And you hear the word equality a lot, I'm sure, especially in the last few days. Equality basically just means you treat people the same for who they are. Now again, if what they do is bad, then you deal with that however that needs to be dealt with. But don't just decide that a person is bad right off the bat. That is definitely not the Spidey way. It's not the hero way at all. And like I said, if we thought that way, the Avengers could have never come together, because Thor is not from Earth. You've got the Hulk, who we already talked about his situation. Black Widow is from another country. She's actually from Russia. You have Captain America, who's actually a lot older than he looks. And Mr. Stark, as much as I respect him, he can sometimes be a little bit of a knucklehead because he gets what we call stubborn, thinking that he knows what's best and doesn't want to listen to people. Then again, sometimes I can be that way. We all have those moments. But we get past all of the ways that we're different and start looking at the ways that we are the same. And that's the most important thing. So with that, I think I'm going to close out. Oh, look who stopped by. Heard me talking about him. Now, you may know that over time, things changed for the Hulk, and he was actually able to keep Bruce Banner's mind in the Hulk's body, which was cool. It made him very useful in the fight against Thanos because he was able to think about what he was doing instead of just smashing his way through the problem, which I guess is something we all need to work on. Knowing when to use our brains over muscles. Sometimes we see a situation and we just want to react. Sometimes we got to stop and think. But, okay, and that's all that we have for Storytime with Spidey today. Oh, before I forget, I now have a YouTube channel. Just a way to kind of spread my audience a little bit. And the link will be in the comments a little bit later after this is posted. So, until next time, take care. And as always, Excelsior! Bear with me, folks, having a little bit of technical difficulty. I really am done here.